Hello, this is Sunil Sunder with Jersey Sporting News. Tonight, I'm happy to be speaking with Pat Devaney, head coach of the New Jersey City University Gothic Knights women's basketball team. Coach Devaney, once again, thank you so much for the opportunity to speak with you. And this is going to be a much different interview that we conduct tonight, and just conversation we get into. We're gonna peel the covers off and the curtains back, and really give people an insight into not only your coaching journey but also your playing days, as well in basketball.
Yeah, well, Sunil, thanks for having me. And there's nobody that I would rather have do the interview than someone like yourself, who is extremely personable, a good person, and doesn't have any bad bones in their body. So yeah, I mean, it's a privilege and an honor to be here with you.
Thank you. I really appreciate the kind words, Coach Devaney. And you know, with all the accolades, the achievements that you have earned and that you've accomplished here over the last several years, especially at your alma mater, New Jersey City University, the back-to-back, New Jersey Athletic Conference tournament championships, regular season, conference, NCAA, ECAC. But, we want to, hear just in terms of the way you started out, with your coaching career, if you want to get into that. It said, coming, from humbling beginnings, but working your way up the ladder, Coach Devaney.
Yeah, yeah. So I started coaching basketball 2010. I was coaching AAU with the Jersey City Heat out of
Mm-hmm.
Jersey City 14 school. So started that doing a sixth grade team, seventh grade team. Frank Darby's actually playing for the Atlanta Falcons. Frank was one of my players. So started doing that first. And then
Mm-hmm.
I got the assistant coaching job at St. Patrick's High School with Chris
Okay.
Chavanis. Chris Chavanis runs the Patrick School now. He was the
Mm-hmm.
head. So I started coaching with Chris around 2011, and started coaching big time high school basketball. DeAndre Bembry over there. And yeah, so I got into coaching boys first, coaching the boys side, and loved it. I mean, I love basketball. As a point guard, I always felt like I was a coach. Even
Yeah.
as a young kid, I always felt like a coach. I
Yeah.
played pitcher. I was quarterback, so like always had the ball in my hand. Was always used to being a leader, the oldest of four. So kind of felt like this was like meant for me. And then after the St. Pat's gig, um, how I got into coaching women. This is a funny story right here. So
Okay.
I was working out at NJCU every single day, 5 days a week in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Alice DeFazio was the athletic director at the time. She was the old women's coach. And she came into the gym and she asked me, she's like, Coach, she was like, Pat, do you want to coach the girls team, our women's team? And I looked at her like, Alice, our women's team? I'm like, I don't know if I'll be able to recruit over here and get kids
Yeah.
here, this and that. She told me how much she would give me. She was like, I'll give you $8,000. I was getting paid close to $1,000 at St. Pat's, and I'm picking kids up, dropping them off at home. So like, I'm a chauffeur and a coach at the same time at St.
Yeah.
Pat's. So this was right before Labor Day weekend. So when she came up to me and asked me that, I said, Alice, let me talk to my dad. Let me talk to Coach Chris. Let me sit on this, think about it a little while, and I'll get back to you after Labor Day. So after talking to Coach Chris, talking to my dad was like, take it as like one of the biggest goals you'll ever set in your life. Like if you could help turn NJCU women's basketball program around, you could probably go anywhere and turn a program around. So take it as one of the biggest goals. So I came back
Mm-hmm.
after Labor Day, told Alice, I said, Alice, I'll take it. I'll do the women job. I'll take it, try to turn this around. And
Yeah.
then my first year I started getting kids. Shocked. Started getting kids to come to NJCU. We started doing well. I think we won like 8 games our first year. I think the year before that they were at 4. And then we kept building it, kept moving up. We wound up getting
Mm-hmm.
Bree Smith. Bree was like a rookie of the year with us around that time. So that was like between 2012 and 2015. I was an assistant coach here.
Yeah.
So doing a really good job with recruiting and stuff. They offered me the head cross country job. Now, Sunil, I never ran cross country. I don't know 100 meter, 200 meter. I have no idea about cross country. So they asked me to do
Yeah.
the cross country job. I was like, I don't know cross country. They were like,
Yeah.
all you have to do is make sure they get on the bus, they finish the race, and make sure they get back on the bus. I said, oh, I'm ordering. I said, "Oh, and I'll do that.
Yeah,
How much am I gonna get?" They told me how much. So I'm like, "Oh, this is double than what I'm getting on basketball." So I'm like, "This is
yeah.
perfect." So I was doing part-time here, but I was here 40 hours a week because I had a goal, turn the women's program around, build up a cross-country program. And I don't know cross country, so I had to start recruiting cross country kids. And we
Mhm.
started getting a cross country team going. So we didn't have to use basketball players anymore, soccer players, baseball players. Wound up getting a cross country team. So that's how I wound up getting in the cross country. You know,
Okay.
2015, the coach that I was coaching with, Amy Mulligan at the time, she wound up resigning. So
Okay.
when you resign as the head coach, they got to open up a search and stuff for the job. I put in for the job. I didn't get the job. They wanted a
Mhm.
woman at the time. And so I didn't get that in 2015. Fast forward to 2018, after they go 4-71, I get a call to put in for the job, that the job's
Yeah.
open back up at NJCU. So put my resume, put the hat back in for the job in 2018. Sean Tucker just got the AD job. And luckily enough and blessed enough that I was fortunate to get the position here at my university. And I feel like the timing was perfect because Sean Tucker just got the job, brand new AD, full of energy, great person, very classy, had big dreams, big vision for us. And I loved
Mhm.
everything about what Sean brought to us. So it was just perfect timing. Timing is everything. And I'm here now as a head coach, being successful at my university, doing everything God blessing wise that we were able to say that we were going to get done. And
Yeah.
we're doing a pretty good job over here now.
Yeah, it said in back of you, said that that's well documented. It's great to see. Hey, Coach, had to ask you. Said the Jersey City University is your alma mater, degree in criminal justice, but talk about just in terms of playing. Said for this team, for the men's team under Mark Around. It said you transferred midway through the 2007-2008 season, played over 45 games over a 2.5 year span. The fact that you were able to get your education and also play athletics and again transfer that over to the coaching side as well. I mean, you got the best of both worlds, at New Jersey City University.
Yeah, yeah. So being alumni, being from here, it's a blessing, to be able to graduate from your university and coach there. So the way I wound up coming to NJCU, I shattered my elbow in 2007. I can't straighten my right arm. So as you can
Wow.
see, that's the farthest it straights. So like if I
Mm.
it won't even straight. So I shattered it in the summer during a basketball game.
Oh my God.
Did a
Yeah,
lot of
actually two surgeries, right, Coach Devaney?
yeah
Yes.
on my shooting elbow. So
Mm.
that was probably the hardest thing in my life that I ever had to go through. The doctor after I had to get emergency surgery, so it happened on the outside court. Uh, Kid took a charge. I went up for a layup. My knee hit his shoulder. My body flipped in the air. My face was gonna hit the floor. I just covered my face, so my whole body landed on my
Oh
elbow.
yeah, it took the impact. Yeah. Yeah.
The elbow shattered. Bones
Mm.
went through the skin. I had to get emergency
Oh,
surgery right there.
yeah.
The ambulance came and picked me up from the court, shot me over to the hospital. I had to get emergency surgery. The doctor told me, and my biggest question was, am I going to be able to play basketball again? Because I love basketball. Basketball is
Yeah.
going to be the only tool that's going to help me go to college. Because truthfully, I wasn't a student, and truthfully, I didn't like school. So I
Hmm.
needed basketball to help me go get my degree, to be that driving
Yeah.
mechanism used to go get this. So doctor told me I wasn't going to play basketball ever again, and that killed me.
Yeah.
That killed me inside. And when he told me that before the surgery, I kind of was like, it's over. I'm like, damn, what am I gonna do now? And then after
Hmm.
the surgery, I was saying to myself and praying to God, like, nobody's gonna tell me what I can't do. Like I am gonna bust my tail and do everything I can in my power to go play college basketball so I could use that to go get my degree because you have to pass the play.
Hmm.
You know, I wound up coming here in the end of November. I got enrolled. I started doing pool workouts and stuff, and I could never get my arm strength back. It would hurt dribbling the ball, it would hurt shooting, but I was still playing. And
Yeah.
there was so many times I wanted to quit, Sunil. That mean, I in high school, I was one of the top players in the state and in the country. So
Hmm.
from that, right, and knowing who I am and everybody knowing what I'm about and who I am, I was no longer that player. So that hurt me. That hurt me a
Yeah.
lot. And I wasn't getting a lot of playing time. My arm was bad. I was basically handicapped trying to play. And like I said, I wanted to quit many of times, but I kept fighting. I kept fighting through it and just
Hmm.
realizing I need this more than it needs me. Like back then, basketball needed me. Coaches needed me to help them, to help their team. Coach Brown didn't need me. I didn't
Hmm.
help. I helped the team because I knew the game. I had a high IQ. I would speak to the kids. I would try to help them in that
Yeah.
aspect of leader, but I couldn't really help on the court. So that was really really tough for me. And Coach Brown, he was amazing because I was tough. I was tough to deal with. I was mad at myself. I was mad at him. I was mad at the world for what happened to me.
Hmm.
And he was very patient with me, and he stuck by me, and he was a great mentor to me in that time. If it wasn't
Yeah.
for him, I probably wouldn't have stayed in school, and I probably wouldn't be coaching college basketball right now if it wasn't for Coach Brown. So
Yeah.
God had a plan and a purpose for me, and it was for me to go through what I went through in my life to send me here so I could help other kids help themselves and just be that leader and help serve my
Yeah.
community population over here.
Yeah, it's fantastic here. I think it's a real testament to your perseverance. Coach Devaney, willing to go through, said really, the good, bad, and ugly days, and being able to, overcome those obstacles and rise up to the challenge. And it's just again phenomenal to hear. I didn't want to forget as well that you were a counselor at the Atlantic Cape basketball camp in Williamstown, New Jersey, 2000 to 2003. Also worked with the Jersey City Boys and Girls Club and Bayonne Police Athletic League camps. Very rewarding, said work, just in terms of, being able to pay it forward and, help out kids. As you said, I mean, you've done it all, throughout your life, the majority of your life. Talk about how, again, satisfying, those experiences were for you, Coach Devaney.
Very rewarding. So now I believe in paying it forward. Like Coach Hurley, he's teaching
Hmm.
kids right now for free in the gym, just paying it forward. And I
Yeah.
feel like that's what I'm here for. I'm here to pay it forward. Go through everything that I've went through in my life, all the coaching that I received in my life, all the recruiting letters, learn being recruited by these schools, St. Joe's,
Yeah.
being recruited by Ohio State, being recruited by these schools and being able to, like West Virginia, being
Yeah.
able to forward and show these kids what it takes to try to get to this kind of level of basketball. My dad saved some of the college letters for myself. When I was in high school, I was getting so many college letters every week that it was getting overwhelming. I would just start throwing them out.
Yeah.
And it wasn't for my father, I would never have none of that stuff that I could pay forward and show kids like, look, this is where I was at as a basketball
Hmm.
player. And
Yeah.
I wasn't a Division I student. I was a Division I basketball player, but not a Division I student. You got to
Hmm.
be a one student and a Division I basketball player if you want to make that transition to Division I. So I feel like everything that I've been through in my life, Snell, all the teachings, all the wrongdoings I did, and I had to right my wrongs. I feel like God put me in this position to pay it forward. So all
Yeah.
those camp clinics that I did growing up, it what it did, it conditioned me for what I'm doing right now in life. And
Yeah.
I feel like, it's making me a successful man and human being and coach all in
Yeah.
one. And I'm able to serve. That's why we're here.
Yeah. Yeah. It's beautiful to hear. And hey, you began your collegiate career at Union County College, 2004 to 2005. Voted first team All NJCAA, which stands for National Junior College Athletic Association, team captain under head coach Jim Catalano. Talk about, said your time there at Union County College, Coach Devaney.
Oh, so Jim Catalano was the old NJIT coach. Jim
Okay.
got the job. Jim got the job at Union County. My dad knew Jim very well. So once Jim got the job, Jim called my father up and he was like, "Look, I know Pat's home from Tishomingo, Oklahoma, from Murray State. could we get him to, to come to us? So I went over there for a visit. I love Jim,
Hmm.
loved what he was doing. So I just came over there and started playing, and we had a phenomenal year over there. We won the regular season championship. We lost in the region 19 to Bergen County Community College at the time, but it was an awesome time over there, and they helped me become a better student over there because I didn't know how to be a good student. I didn't know
Hmm.
that I had to put in the time. What you put into your craft is what you get out, just like basketball. But
Yeah.
I never got that. My dad wasn't a college student. My dad didn't graduate high school. My mom just graduated high school. So I didn't have that background of students. It was
Hmm.
just job done, get the job done, get the job done. That was it, but never like the blueprint on how to get it done.
Yeah.
So when I got to Union County, they surrounded me with a great tutoring, with some great counselors, and it helped me become a better student because I wound up graduating at NJCU with a 3.0 GPA after graduating high school with a 1.2 GPA and
Wow. Yeah.
couldn't qualify at no college
Oh my
with a
God.
horrible
Yeah.
score. So I was lucky, and they taught me and showed me how to be a better student.
Yeah. It's truly inspirational. I mean, just, to see how you were able to, again, uh, come from that, that time and just be able to, again, just rise up. I mean, be able to, I mean, say your back is against the wall and you're trying to figure it out, but, thank God that, again, there are people, there are resources available, to aid you and, help you. And then, be able to see how you were able to flourish and, end up at the Jersey City University. Hey, you talked about the recruiting process, and this is something that, I'm sure you wanted to hit on and talk about, said that, time in your life, and it's very riveting. So I really wanted to give you the floor with that, Coach Devaney.
Yeah, so growing up, I ate, sleep, and breathed basketball. My dad was a coach. My dad coached some professional athletes in the St.
Hmm.
Louis Belmar League and in the East Orange Harry James League. So being a youngin, 5 years old, 6 years old, going to those kind of games, seeing my dad coaching that kind of town. My dad played a little bit, so like I fell in love with the sport at a young age, and it's all I did, Sunil. Like I didn't have that childhood where you just hung out with your friends and
Hmm.
played just manhunt and stuff. Like I was sports
Yeah.
at a early age and so dedicated to my craft where I had a basketball court right in front of my house and we just worked. We
Hmm.
lived in an apartment complex to start off. We'd buy little hoops, play out in front, put it right in the street and play. And
Hmm.
that's what I did at a young age. So being able to learn that at a young age and just transfer that over as I got older, it became natural to me, basketball.
Hmm.
So at a young age, I was one of the best in my city. I was one of the best in Hudson County playing in the PAL League. I was averaging like 50 points a game. There was some games I think I scored like 64,
Hmm.
50, 56. So like I I mean basketball is truthfully in my DNA. I did
Yeah.
play a little baseball. I got some clips over here.
Oh, nice. That's great.
My dad, man, he saved me.
Yeah.
Said thank God for him because I would never have nothing to show my kids
Yeah.
or, or show any of the recruits that I get to show them who I am and what I was about growing up. But yeah,
Yeah.
so I wound up going to Midtown Community School in Bayonne. It was a brand new school just opened up.
Hmm.
Got there in fifth grade. I was in a Catholic school my whole life, so they opened up, and I was the first fifth grader to make the basketball team in the whole city. So you were only allowed to try out in sixth grade, or sixth, seventh, and eighth grade. I was lucky
Hmm.
enough to be allowed to try out in fifth grade.
Yeah.
We wound up winning the city championship my fifth grade year at Midtown. Then sixth grade year, we won a city championship again. Seventh grade year, we won the championship. Eighth grade year, we won the city championship. So like just being a part of that was huge. And then
Yeah.
I played for the Jersey City Boys and Girls Club growing up. So being that young, we would always play, at the boys club, but we would also play at White Eagle Hall.
Okay.
You know where White Eagle Hall is?
I haven't heard of that. No.
So it's where St. Anthony's used to play at.
Oh,
It's
okay.
they
Okay.
used to have
Okay.
they used to not play their games. They used to have their workouts and practices in there. And it's a
Okay.
bingo hall. So it's like no fouls. I mean, all the best of the best come out of there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you a picture real quick of who was
Okay.
on my who was on my AAU team at the time. And this will show you the kind of basketball that at a young age that we were playing.
Mm.
So I'm gonna show you the little article real quick.
Okay.
So right here.
Yeah.
So number 1 is me.
Oh, okay.
Number 3 is Donald Copeland. Donald Copeland's the head basketball coach at Wagner for the men.
Okay.
Over to the right over here, number 2, that's Bashir Mason, the St. Peter's coach.
Okay.
And then back there is Dwayne Lee. I think Dwayne's coaching at Quinnipiac now. I'm not sure. But we went to the Nationals, one of the top teams in the state.
Very nice. Yeah.
So that's the kind of basketball at a young age that, you know, I was brought up around. So it was always big time basketball for me. You know,
Yeah.
trying to play Division I. That was always the goal. That was always the route. Started again.
Yeah.
Ended up going to Marist.
I know.
8th grade year, I went there on a visit. I was supposed to go to St. Anthony's, but it was going to be myself, Donald Copeland, Dwayne Lee, Elijah Ingram, and then a year ahead of us was Tony Tate. Tony Tate was starting at the time. So I felt like the option for me at the time was to come to Marist with Chris Chavanis, who just left St. Pat's and got the job at Marist. So I played at Marist my freshman year. Made the decision my 8th grade year to go to Marist. Played Marist my freshman year, played JV, suited up varsity, played a lot of minutes my sophomore year. We won a championship my freshman year. Sophomore year, we won a championship, but then we went going to the States. We had an ineligible player playing.
Yeah.
We had to sit.
How frustrating was that?
It was very tough because we worked extremely hard to get to where we were at, and we were the best in the county, and we were one of the best in the state. We were actually on our way to play St. Pat's at home in the state playoffs, and AD came and said the season was canceled. So all the games that we won we had a forfeit. So I think we were like 19-6 or something like that. We had to forfeit everything. So no more playoffs, no more anything. Coach Chris is gone. He went back to St. Pat's. So now I'm here like, what just happened here?
Yeah.
So with that whole situation that happened, I left. You know, I got an opportunity to go play at St. Augustine Prep out in Richmond, Jersey. I was living with the secretary of the school out in Ocean City. So being from the city of Jersey City in Bayonne, going out there down in South Jersey.
Yeah. It's quite a transition. Yeah. It's night and day. And then playing for head coach, I think it's Paul Rodeo. And, you know, I said the Hermit, and the Hermits winning, you know, 2002 parochial Southeast State Championship, defeating Camden Catholic. That had to be, I mean, again, you know, the fact that, you know, started at a young age, winning championships, and to continue that, as said, streak going, I mean, that's just like, you know, that's butter. I mean, that's icing on the cake, you know, to be able to, again, you know, raise a trophy and, you know, win a championship.
I think, you know what I think of this, Sunil? I think I saw the blueprint at a young age, and it kind of conditioned me to understand what it takes to win. So, like, when people say, well, like, you know, you got the job at NJCU and it took you only 3 years to win a championship. I look at it like, no, it wasn't only 3 years, because I was here from 2012 to 2015. So I count those years because we put in the work.
That's right.
We started getting into double-digit wins, and we started winning conference games. And like, I feel like you got to add those onto that, because that's what helped transition us into a championship program. We had to take our bumps, we had to take our losses, and then, you know, we hired a coach that plays championship basketball and that knows championship basketball and that has championship basketball basically in his DNA. And speaking of myself, so I feel like truthfully, and I say this a lot, I feel like I was conditioned for this. You know, like it's crazy to even think about it, like where we're at now. But I feel like everything that I've been through in my life, with the winning at a young age, having the coaches that I had in a young age, being around Coach Bob Hurley to start off, going to, you know, all of his camps and clinics at a young age. Then my freshman and sophomore year in high school, even my 8th grade and going into my summer years, we're working out with Kevin Boyle. We're practicing with Kevin Boyle's team at St. Pat's by Al Harrington, Sam Dallenberg, Ray Lamazana, Jerome Holman. So like being around that kind of basketball in high school, like it programs you and it conditions you to win championships. Like there's no doubt that Shaheen Holloway being at St. Peter's got that job done because of how he's been conditioned as a player and who he was as a player and as a person. He's a winner.
Mhm.
He's been a winner his whole life. So like it's not like shocking that Shaw's winning.
Yeah.
I kind of expect him to win because he's a winner. It's in his
Yeah.
DNA, it's in his blood. That's what he's done his whole life. So, I feel like this was this is how it's supposed to be, when you're
Yeah.
conditioned this way.
Yeah. No, I agree. Hey, you mentioned it before. You alluded to the fact ranked among the top 100 players in the United States in 2003, number 25 among players in New Jersey, New York, averaging 16 points and 7 assists per game. First team All Cape May, Atlantic County, third team All State selection, and then invited to play in the Eastern Invitational Top 20 All Star game. When you think about all those, again, accolades and what you were able to achieve, I mean, that really had to, knowing, as I said, down the road how tough it got, but early on when you were able to rack up those, as said, again, what did that mean to you? I mean, that had to be, again, personally, just bring a lot of pride and joy, Coach Devaney.
Yeah, just all the hard work paying off, Sunil. All the nights working out in the gym, outside on the basketball courts, getting to the courts 8 o'clock in the morning, not leaving the courts
Yeah,
until midnight. Like I feel like that was all paying off. And just all the hard work, all the discipline, being committed, being consistent, being persistent
yeah,
at my craft. So, I always felt like I was the best basketball player, whatever court I stepped on, no matter who I was playing against. Like
hmm
I played versus Dewan Wagner my junior year at
I
Temple
know.
University. At Temple
Yeah.
University, I had to stick Dewan the whole game. Dewan was averaging 43 points a game. He just scored 100 points the game before, and I got to stick him.
Yeah,
But once I stepped on that court, truthfully, I felt like I was better than Dewan. I mean,
yeah,
obviously, if you watch the game, you could tell I was not better than Dewan because he gave me 37 and we lost. But
yeah,
like that was always my mindset. So now I always felt like I was the best, and truthfully, that's still my mindset to today. Being
yeah,
playing for Coach Rodeo, Rodeo's at almost 1,000 wins. So like being taught by winners, being Chris Shavanis, TOC championship at St. Pat's. Um, Paul Rodeo, multiple state championships. I have a state championship with them. Just being around Jim Catalano, Mark Brown, these are all winning coaches.
yeah,
Jack Hallat, winning coaches. Jimmy Salmon, Tim Thomas Players, who's the coach at Montclair Immaculate. That was one of my AAU coaches. He's a winner. So like just being a part of that, like it's embedded in you.
yeah,
It's in your DNA. And I can't say this enough. I'm so blessed and so lucky to have the mindset and the coaching that I had that got my mindset to where it's at. To have my
yeah,
father be my first coach who knows this game. Like this profession, this is what I was meant to be,
yeah,
without a doubt. And the route that I had to take, a lot of obstacles, had to overcome a lot of hurdles that I put in front of myself because
yeah,
I was my own worst enemy. So, it's all paying off. Everything I've done now is finally paying off, and I couldn't be any more proud.
yeah. Hey, you play, as I said, you mentioned Dewan Wagner. I said there's also high school teammate, former Washington Wizards player, 2012 British Olympian, Pops Mensa, Bonsu, and Sebastian Telfair, Eddie Griffin, Ben Gordon, Sam Dellenberg. I mean, who all played in the NBA. I mean, that's just like, that's just an incredible list of just amazing talent, to go up against Coach Devaney.
Yeah, I mean the coaches that I played for always wanted to play the best because you got to play the best to be the best, and then you can see how you level up. So,
Yeah.
being young, playing Ben Gordon my sophomore year when he was at Mount Vernon at Madison Square Garden with the Nike Super Six, three top teams in New Jersey versus the three top teams in New York. So you had like
hmm
Rice with Andre Barrett and stuff. Playing versus him, playing versus James White in Slam Dunk to the Beach out in Delaware. Playing versus Eddie Griffin in AAU, and when he played for Roman Catholic, just playing against all this big time talent. Sebastian Telfair when he played for his AAU team.
Yeah.
I mean, big time basketball, Sunil. Big time
Yeah, I
basketball.
know. And it continues to this day. I mean, it's not dropped off AAU. So yeah.
So like that
Yeah.
that that that's what I love. That's what I'm about. And play the best, be the best, try to be the best. Hey, and if you don't beat them, but at least you can see where you're at and see
That's right.
how you're
Measure
doing.
up, to where you stack up. Yeah, no, I agree.
Well,
Okay, after yeah,
Pops Mensah
yeah,
when he first came to St. Augustine Prep, we basically lived together the whole summer at
okay.
Atlantic Cape Camp. We stayed at the camp the whole summer together. We
Mhm,
worked it, and we were there, so like living there at the time.
mhm,
Pops was so raw, so athletic, and to see how he basically catapulted himself to George Washington, and it was night and day as a basketball player. I mean, Pop's one of the best athletes and best people that I ever had the privilege of playing with. I'm gonna show you the team picture real quick
okay,
because
sure.
this team was a very, very, very good team right here.
Okay.
That was the team right there.
Okay, great.
So right here, this is Pops Mensah, Lou
Okay.
Babaloa, Scott Greenman played for Princeton. I think he's coaching at American University right now.
Mhm,
That's myself. We got Christian right there. So we had a really good team. We lost to St. Anthony's and the TOC. We beat St. Pat's and then we lost to St. Anthony's.
okay.
So we had a really good team.
Yeah,
We beat a couple of national ranked teams that year. We beat Rice. They had Keedron Clark, who's the
yeah,
all-time scorer at St. Peter's. Shigeri Alagini played at Kentucky, 7'2". Beat St. Pat's that year. We beat Germantown Academy, had Matt Walsh, Lee Melchione. Lee Melchione played at Duke. Matt Walsh played at Florida. Had a cup of tea in the league. Rob Cross played in the league from Germantown Academy. So that year at St. Augustine, we beat big time teams, and we were
yeah.
one of the best in the country at that time.
Okay, so after your junior year, you left the program. What happened? You returned to Bayonne High School for your senior year, where the team won their first championship program history. And so, if you want to talk about that, time in your life, that time period.
Yeah, so this is where it gets a little crazy, Sunil.
Yeah, yeah.
I came back home to a public school that my parents didn't want me going to because of being in the city, being who I am, everybody knowing me and stuff. And
Hmm.
I always got into fights at a young age. Like that was one of the things that I was known about. I was
Yeah,
always getting into fist fights all the time, whether it was
yeah.
over girls, whether it was on the basketball court, whether it was somebody that I didn't like or they didn't like me. Growing up in the city, there was a lot of fist fighting going on and a
Hmm.
lot of things going on. So my parents didn't want me to be in the city. But I came home for my senior year. My grandmother passed away. So that's the reason why I came home. I lost both my grandmothers. So I
Okay.
felt like I was too far away from my
Yeah,
family at the time. And I had
yeah.
a big year my junior year. I was getting recruited by Ohio State at the time, West Virginia, Phil Martelli at St. Joe. So I already had the Division I looks. So I felt
Hmm.
like no matter where I went at that time, I'm already getting recruited. I already got what I need, right? All I got to do is get the GPA and finish my career healthy. So I figured I'd come home for my senior year, and that was the worst thing that I ever did.
Mm.
I didn't have any money when I came home. Like I didn't have to worry about nothing when I was at Marist and St. Augustine, but when I came home, when it was a different story, my parents didn't
Hmm.
want to help me out with anything because I came home. It's like, we're gonna wash our hands with you for coming home.
Yeah.
So I started getting into some things that I should never got into. I started selling some weed at the time to make myself some money, and
Mm.
the way I got into that, Sunil, one of my former AAU players, I used to play for the Jersey City Vipers with. His kid passed
Yeah.
away. His name was Joe Sitbaum at the time. He was one of the biggest drug dealers in Hudson County at the time. I didn't know that when I came home.
Hmm.
So I ended up coming home during the summer, and he came up to me one day. We were all hanging out, and he came up to me. He was like, Pat, he was like, you know everybody in Jersey City, you know everybody in Bayonne. He was like, I could put some money in your pocket. He was like, between 500 and 1,000 a week. I was like, yeah, like 500,000. I come from nothing. My parents don't
Hmm.
have money. My parents didn't graduate college. I'm the first person in my whole family. And I don't mean my immediate family. I mean my whole family. My
Yeah.
grandmother, there's 9 of them. Nobody ever went to college. So I was the first person to go to college. So I wind up, Sitbom came up to me and said, look, this is what, I know you got connections with the projects, Kerry Woods. He needed protection at the time. I used to play for Kerry Woods in the housing league. So came up to me and said, look, you do some things for me. He was like, I'll put about $1,000 in your pocket at the time.
Mm.
So I was like, I'll do it, $1,000, I wanted to buy nice clothes, sneakers and all that stuff. I like
Hmm.
looking good. I had a persona that I had to keep up, you know, looking good, wearing Coogee sweaters and stuff. So I wound up doing that. And it was probably the dumbest, most immature thing I ever did. You know, started working for this guy. And being young and immature, you don't understand people's intentions at the time. You know, so
Mm-hmm.
he was recruiting me to help him make him money, to get him protection from the projects that I hung out in, that everybody knew me from. And I started selling drugs my senior year in high school. Started selling weed. He was getting ecstasy. He was giving me the pills of ecstasy for $1. I was selling the ecstasy pills for $15. You know, so like when you're in that lifestyle, you start getting addicted to the money because the
Yeah.
money's, you know. And I'm a big time basketball player at the time. They wrote a big time article about me from coming home to Bayonne and playing it. I think I have the article here somewhere on my wall.
Mm-hmm.
And and you know, so I was trying to play both sides. And one day, the lieutenant came to my house, Mr. Kachansky at the time. I remembered it like it was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Parents say, hey, Patrick, come on, somebody's here to see you. So I'm thinking it's a college coach here to see me, to recruit
Yeah.
me. I get there, it's Mr. Kachansky. He tells me about how people are talking about me selling drugs. And I'm like, I'm not selling anything. I'm not doing none of that stuff, right? So
Mm-hmm.
being dumb and immature, I should have took that as the warning sign to stop, because that's why he basically came here to tell me, like, look, you're gonna mess up your whole career if you
Yeah.
keep doing it. So I continue to do it, Sunil. I continue to do it. My dad found marijuana in my bedroom. Called the
Mm.
police on 1 bag of marijuana. My senior year in high school. It was, I think, the end of December, beginning of January. Cops come to the high school. There's a detective, one detective in a regular suit. I don't see a badge. I don't see no gun, no nothing. I'm in the lunchroom with my friends. He
Mm-hmm.
comes in. I'm thinking it's a college coach. Brings me outside. Brings me in this room. Starts talking about marijuana and selling drugs. I want to find out it's a cop.
Mm.
He tells me the story about why he has me there. He takes me in the car in the front seat, takes me over to the county. I mean, not the county, to the Bayonne holding cell.
Mm-hmm.
They do their stuff. They get me in there, the processing center, and I'm in the holding cell during the season.
Yeah.
Wind up getting released. I'm suspended the rest of the season until they deem it's safe for me to come back. Had to take
Yeah.
urines, had to go through all this stuff. My senior year, I'm suspended 16 games. I played, I think, the first 7 games of the season, first 6 games of the season. I
Mm-hmm.
come back first game of the playoffs. I don't get any more letters, Sunil. Nobody, no calls. The
Yeah.
letters stop coming in. So now I'm like, damn, what am I gonna do? Nobody's recruiting me now.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? Let me just do my thing on the basketball court right now. Senior year, we're in the playoffs. First game versus St. Mary's. Wind up hitting the game-winning shot. Sunil, it's like God. It's like God made
Yeah.
this happen.
Yeah. Me.
Suspended the whole year, almost
I
the whole
know.
year. Come back the first game of the playoffs, hit the game-winning shot. We win.
Yeah.
Ed Ford, I don't know if you know the FA. Ed Ford, he was a big news reporter, big
Okay.
baseball guy in Jersey City. He had his own column at the time. So we're
Mm-hmm.
playing Ferris. Kyle Anderson's father is coaching Ferris High School at the time. Kyle Anderson Sr.,
Yeah.
Shlomo's father. He puts in the paper, the FA, that Ferris is going to beat Bayonne, this and that. See that in the paper. We wound up beating Ferris.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's shocked we beat Ferris. So I'm like, yeah, now I'm getting back to it. I'm thinking I'm going to
Yeah.
start getting recruited. Nobody.
Mm.
Nobody sends any letters anymore. I'm not getting nothing. No more calls, even after these 2 playoff games. So I'm like, we got to win a championship. We played Dickinson at Dickinson in the championship. Alex Maribel, who was the St. Peter's prep coach,
Mm-hmm.
senior at the time. We played him. We lose in the championship at Dickinson. First time Bayonne's ever been in a championship.
Mm-hmm.
So then we go play in the playoffs, first state playoffs. Play Ferris, we lose to Ferris. Basketball is over for me. Have no idea what I'm going to do now. I'm not getting recruited by anybody.
Yeah.
I had to go to the junior college route. But not only that, Sunil, I didn't get a high school diploma. They wouldn't let me graduate on stage from my days out because of my suspension.
Mm.
So I had to get a GED. And I didn't get a GED until 2003, until about the middle of 2003. I graduated 2002. So I wound up, had to go to Murray State out in Tishomingo, Oklahoma, JUCO out there. Go out there in January, the coach winds up leaving. Once I
Mhm.
get, that's the guy that recruited me at the time. New coach comes in there. He wants to slow down the pace, doesn't want to run and gun. That's my style. I like running. I like, throwing no look passes, running all day long. New coach
Mhm.
comes, damn, what am I gonna do? That's when I get the call from Jen Catalana to go to Union County College. And then that's when Union County College NJCU started. And, truthfully, we could go, you let me know when you want me to go into the
Yeah.
story. You want me to go into everything?
Listen, I'm giving you that opportunity, to really discuss. I mean, it's so riveting, just sitting here and listening to it because I think when you're humble to your core and where you just hit rock bottom and you have to somehow climb your way back up and try to get your head above water. I mean, I just it's truly remarkable.
Yes. So you know what? I guess we'll get raw with it. We'll just, because I hope this helps people, man.
I
I
think
hope
so. I think you that's what you want to do. Yeah,
I
because
hope
I think
I,
there are a lot
I,
of
I hope
people. Yeah, go ahead.
I hope my story influences people to get themselves out of bad situations and take
Yeah.
advantage of what God blessed you with. And don't let anybody get you out of your lane of what you're
Hmm.
supposed to be. I allowed somebody to get me out of my lane over money
Hmm.
and living a life that I shouldn't have been living.
Yeah.
So I want kids to understand that you control your destiny. So I hope from my
Hmm.
story and what I'm told, and this is the first time that I ever talked about this, live. I
Yeah.
talk to maybe some recruits, I tell them my story, some people that know my story, but I never, because truthfully, it kind of is like, it brings back memories, and I don't know if I get PTSD from it or whatever, but
Yeah.
like it hits home when I talk about it. I talked to my girls about it this year. I told them everything. I started crying in front of the girls, because it
Hmm.
talked about it in front of anybody, and it still kind of hurts till this day. And
Yeah.
my father put a lot of time and effort into me to try to get to Division 1. So like, I'm hurt for him that didn't happen for him. And I wanted
Hmm.
to go to NBA. I wanted to play NBA because my parents didn't have money. I always heard them arguing over money. So I wanted to
Yeah.
make it to NBA, make money, so they didn't have to work anymore. I have two brothers, one little sister. I wanted them not have to worry or need for anything. So that was my
Hmm.
whole mindset, was money, 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 money.
Yeah.
And truthfully, you got to sometimes wait for that slow nickel instead of pushing for that quick dime, and just let the process take care of itself. But
Yeah.
after my first charge at Bayonne High School, it just didn't stop from there. I was still, after I didn't get any more letters, I didn't get any more calls, and
Hmm.
St. John, Mike St. John wound up leaving Murray State, and I wound up coming home. I'm still home. Union County Community College, they didn't have a dorm room, so I didn't stay in the dorms. I'm still home, still
Hmm.
with money. So I got back into that. I got back into the street life, but
Hmm.
only once. I started hanging around Crips. I started really being in the projects of Curry Woods and selling drugs in the buildings, and I'm breaking night. My mom was kicking me out of the house. My senior year, my mom kicked me out. I had my own studio apartment my senior year in high school for 6 months. Being
Hmm.
a senior in high school, having your own studio apartment, you know that that's kind of tough for a high school kid to do.
Yeah.
And go to school and live that life with no parent dictating what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because my mom basically was like, "You don't want to listen to me. You don't want to live by my rules. Get out of here. You
Hmm.
know, go go do your own thing then."
Yeah.
And I was doing that, and I wound up 2006. After the Union County stuff, I didn't get any offers anywhere. So after the Union County stuff, I was still doing what I was doing. January 6, 2006, the Bayonne police raided my mother's house. I was going down a place called Global. It's like Fast and Furious. We would always go down and hang out. It's a big roadway. It's by the
Hmm.
piers in Bayonne, and we would go down there, just hang out, and it'd be rows of cars down there, and that's where I would go park my car and sell my drugs. And someone ratted on me and told them exactly when I leave my house, exactly where the drugs was at in my bedroom. I get pulled over before I go down there. They got the guns out, flashlights out. They pulled me over, and they know everything. I got Percocets in a sock right next to me that I'm about to go sell down there. They pull me over, they find the Percocets, they find the weed, they take me behind Acme. They start hitting me like this because I'm lying to them. They're like, we know you have drugs in your mother's house. We know that it's in the bedroom and the drop top ceiling. And I'm like, holy crap, how do they know I even have a drop top ceiling in my bedroom? I'm still lying to them. I'm like, no, I don't have any drugs. That's all I have.
Yeah.
This and that. So they hit me like this.
Oh
And
my God.
after they hit me like the 7th time in the face and I'm cuffed up, I said, you know what? I'm going to show you guys where the drugs are, because now they started telling me, we're going to lock your mother up. And we're going to say that she knows you're selling drugs out of her house. So I'm like, no, that's not going to happen. My mother has no idea I'm selling drugs. So I'm going to show you exactly where the drugs are. You go in there, you take the drugs out, you get me out of the house, and that's it. Don't go searching through anywhere else. So I took the cops up to my bedroom, got them in a drop top ceiling. They weren't happy with what they found. So they thought I had more. They thought I was like this kingpin, but I was not. I was that. So wound up getting in trouble January 6, 2006. Wound up getting a felony on my record. It was 1,000 feet within housing with intent to distribute. Now that's after Union County College.
Yeah.
Got a felony on my record. Had no idea what I was going to do next. No idea. Got the felony on my record. Wind up getting an opportunity to go to Stockton. Jerry Matthews was giving me an opportunity to go out there. Go out to Stockton. I messed that opportunity up because I want to be a drinker. And this is after I shattered my elbow, so I couldn't straighten my arm. The therapy wasn't going well. PT wasn't going well. You know, I wasn't able to play well. So now I started becoming a drinker, because now I'm depressed at myself that I go out to Stockton and, you know, let's rewind that, because I'm missing a key part.
Okay.
June 23rd, 2006, in that same year, I'm at a party at my cousin's house in Secaucus. Me and this kid get into an argument over some things. We get into a one-on-one fist fight out in front of my cousin's house. I wound up beating the kid up. I break his cheekbone and jawbone in a one-on-one street fight. He goes to the hospital. Nurses ask him what happened. Why does he have a broken cheekbone and jawbone? He tells them he gets into a fight. They call the cops. Cops come there. They interview him. Well, who was the one that you got into a fight with? He tells them Pat Devaney. Next morning, I got Secaucus police at my door in Bayonne, knocking on the door. They didn't lock me up for an assault charge. We're getting into a street fight. I wound up getting locked up June 23rd, 2006 again. So that's 2 times in 2006. I wound up getting 2 felony charges. So like now I'm really like, I got to get my life together.
I know.
I got to get out of the streets. The streets is not for me. Apparently, obviously, it's not for me. I'm messing up everything in my life right now. So like had some mentors come up to me and talk to me. My mom, dad had a serious conversation with me. And then I had to talk to my pastor and really start understanding, like, what am I doing? Where am I trying to get out of life here? So we got a blueprint to go, like, hey, look, we're going to get you into school, and this is what you need to do. You got to leave everything alone. Wind up getting that, wind up changing my life around. The crazy part about the whole thing, Sunil, I was selling drugs in the projects. Biggest drug dealers in the projects who I wanted to sell drugs for did not want me to sell drugs at all. Told me if I would sell drugs, they would break my face. So I had to have the guy Joe Sitbomb, who didn't live in the projects, give me drugs to sell, because own people from the projects didn't want me selling projects because they didn't want me to mess up my career. So that just goes to show you how there's some good people that do that stuff, that care for other people, that don't want to see them mess up their career. Because they're older in their life and they saw how it messed up their life. They didn't want to. So that's like a real OG. So when people hear OGs help people not do the same thing that they did.
Just
not
repeat those same mistakes. Yeah.
So just being a part of that. I was around Crips. Curry Woods is one of the biggest spots in Jersey City. You could Google it. It's the hardest projects around, and that's why I was. So from 2002 to 2006, I'm in this projects in Jersey City on Neptune Avenue, gang banging, selling drugs, living a life that's not consistent with who I am as a person. Because I always had money on my mind. Make the NBA for money, but that's out the picture. So how can I get to this quick money? Then I'm living this dumb lifestyle that I should have never been living in. But wind up talking to my pastor, getting the blueprint together to now get myself back on track to where I can help other people help themselves. And
Yeah.
Sure enough, being able to, leave Stockton to be over here with Coach Mark Brown at that time, him calling me up. And at that time, Sunil, Alice DeFazio was here. Alice knew my situation. She knew everything that I've been through. She
Hmm.
went into Brown's office and said, Mark, Pat Devaney, we don't want him here. Mark Brown said, you know what, Alice, that's my call. I knew Pat since he was 6 years old. I'm gonna take him in. I'm gonna bring him in here. I'm gonna help him out. And I'm here now, all because Mark Brown took a chance on me.
Yeah.
And he just got the job here, Snell, in October. His father just retired. I was his first recruit. First recruit that had 2 felonies on his record, was gang banging, fighting, got stabbed, been through all this crazy stuff. And
Yeah.
he says, you know what, Pat? I'm gonna go out on a limb and I'm gonna help you out. And Alice did not want me here, Sunil. So just imagine, Alice did not want me here as a basketball player and a student athlete, right? To fast forward, I graduated in 2011. She asked me, come coach the women's team.
Yeah. That's pretty surreal.
You know?
I mean, yeah. Yeah.
So just to see, how I was able to make this 180 change in my life, to get back to what God blessed me with, to do what He wanted me to do, and
Yeah.
to continue to get back on this path of living right, living righteous, doing the right thing,
Hmm.
righting wrongs, living up, owning up to my mistakes. It's I feel like this what made me who I am today.
Hmm.
And people say you shouldn't live with regrets. I kind of disagree, but you don't let that beat you up. Like
Hmm.
I still regret the stuff that I've done.
Yeah. Well, life's too short. I mean, I said everybody does make mistakes, and uh, you wish you could go back, as said, and do it all over again, like just in terms or doing it differently. Excuse me, and but unfortunately, past is past. That's it's come and gone. And you get that time back, but you just try to better yourself and improve, just on the person you are. And obviously, you've done that. And I think that intervention and having those people in the right place to guide you along and to raise you up. Because not everyone gets, those second, third chances, fourth chances. I mean, but you know, I think, it is a true blessing that, you had that, as said in your life, and to see where you are now, it's just, again, it is very inspirational.
Yeah, I mean, and so now when I hear people talk about mental health, mental health, mental health,
Hmm. Hmm.
it's a big thing. It's
Yeah.
a truly big thing, because if you are not in a mental space, it affects your whole
Hmm.
being. And mental health is huge, because this
Yeah.
controls this and
Hmm.
everything. It controls what you put out. It
Yeah.
controls energy and everything. So, just being able to get myself up out of these situations,
Yeah.
because some people don't. You know, I did 5 days. I did 5 days in the county.
Hmm.
I hated it. I don't know how people go back to that stuff. I mean, to
Yeah.
take a shower when you're in the holding cell, you have to keep your lunch tray. You got to, because you can't step on the floor. It's slime everywhere. So you got to stand on your lunch tray to take a shower. They're
Mm.
waking you up 4 o'clock in the morning to eat breakfast. Like, who wants to live that kind of
I know.
lifestyle?
I know.
So like, once I got that taste, I was like, no, no, this is not for me. I got to get
No.
back to
Yeah.
what God blessed me with, and I took up criminal justice for this reason, because I want to help people. I want to help people help themselves. I want to see
Yeah.
people not continue this revolving door of doing the same stuff, because then you're going to get the same results.
Yeah.
So being in the city, being here, like, my life is different than other people. People are like, well, Pat, why do you preach? Why do you talk? Because there's people that are going through the situation that I'm going through right now. Morant just got caught with a gun. Like, John Morant just got caught with it. Like, what are you doing with a gun?
I
Why
mean,
you?
practically one of the faces of the NBA. I mean, but again, everyone's got skeletons in their closet. Everyone's got, I mean, and he just, he made a really bad decision, and now it really cost them. I mean, they struggled the rest of the season and then into the playoffs. and, he was out a couple of weeks. It said it really changed everything. And now people look at him in a different light, and hopefully, and he's a father. I mean, that's the thing. He's got a daughter, to think about as well. And hopefully he does, get his life together, and he's able to use this, that, again, is an opportunity me to, speak to those kids out there, because there are kids that look up to him, and, that view him as a role model. And you don't want those kids, repeating the same mistake. That's another whole entire animal with, social media, and, posting that stuff on Instagram and, Twitter and elsewhere. And, why, they said they would resort to that, we just don't know.
Yeah, and truthfully, nobody's immune to it. So now, like,
No.
you could be brought up. Like, I was brought up in a good home. I had a mom and a dad. What was it perfect? No, nothing's ever perfect, but they
Yeah.
did everything they can to protect us. They gave us everything that they could afford. We really didn't have to want for nothing. They went without, so like when people say, well, how'd you get in the streets? It had nothing to do with parenting. It's what the decision that I made and where my mindset was, and how I wasn't thinking clearly at the time. And when you're smoking pot and you're drinking, your mindset is not clear. You're
Yeah.
not thinking straight. You're not thinking clearly. And at this day and age, these kids are smoking weed now. At younger age, they just legalized it, and it's the stupidest thing, the dumbest
I
thing they
know.
could have ever done for these kids, because they think it's good for them, when it's one of the most horrible things to do for your body. You shouldn't be smoking anything. It's horrible for your lungs. It's horrible for your cardio, for your
Yeah.
heart. And that's what you need as an athlete. So like, I tell my kids my story, and I hope that it changes their perspective of the outlook on things. And like, just being through everything that I've been through. I've been turned down for doing camps because of my background. I've been turned down for jobs because of my background. So being able to land this job here because of what Sandra Cunningham put in, that you can't go back, only back 8 years. Like, it gives people like myself an opportunity to change their lives.
Yeah.
There's people that have felonies on their records. They can't get jobs anywhere, and what they resort to is going back to the streets, because that's the only thing they know, and that's the only thing that will help bring them money. So with Sandra Cunningham passing this, where you can only go back 8 years, that helps people, and it helps people change their lives, because people do change. People
Yeah.
change. Like, I haven't drank alcohol or beer in over a year and a half. I haven't ate meat and chicken and drank milk since 2016. So people change. And I want
Yeah.
people to see my story and see, like, it can happen. You could be that person, and you can do it. That as long as you're dedicated, and you have to love yourself. You have to love yourself, because if you don't love yourself, then you're not going to care what happens to you. You're not going to care what you go through. And that's what I had to get back to. I had to get back to loving myself. I had to get back to caring for myself and loving the people around me, because I was hurting everybody. I was
Yeah.
hurting people that knew that I could do great things in life. My dad, it killed him. My dad used to drive around the city of Jersey City looking for me at night to see
Oh,
where I
wow.
was and what
Yeah.
I was doing, and
Yeah.
like, put my parents through that stuff, man. It eats at me now. Like, when I
Yeah.
think about, like nobody should put their parents through that stuff. And
Yeah.
like, it's still, you see it, like, it hurts,
Yeah.
it hurts
Yeah,
when
it's
you.
raw emotion. it is, it's excruciating. But as I said, uh, now you see, you come full circle, and, the way where you ended up. It's, again, everyone has got to go through hell, and you've been through hell back and forth. But the fact that, you were able to, get out of those ugly situations, and again, the right people, guiding you along the way, and, helping you out. That, again, not everybody has that support system, but if you do have people that care about you genuinely, and want to see you, improve, and, again, be the best version of yourself and succeed in this world, God bless. Obviously you have that, and here you are now, a true champion, and, leading, said the way. And hopefully, it said the kids who are out there doing the same stuff that you were, back, years ago, almost 20 years ago, that they'll see the light, and they'll say, look, we we need to get out of this situation. We need to, like, be on the positive side. We can't, I mean, this is just, the negativity, the despair. I mean, it's out there, but you have to somehow, come through those shadows and be able to, find, medium, find something that, you're good at, and, like, just try to get through education and, having a stable career. But, again, it's just, it's just, again, magnificent just to see where you ended up now.
A lot of this has to do with Mark Brown, man.
Yeah, I
Like
know. I know.
I can't. I appreciate this man so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
He saved my life. Truthfully, he
Yeah.
saved my life. Because if I didn't come to NJCU after Stockton, I would
Yeah.
have never went to college. And who knows
Yeah.
what I would have got into,
Yeah.
because maybe I would have been fed up with everything.
Yeah.
And I tell you, God works in mysterious ways. God has a plan for every single one of us, and
Yeah.
we have to trust it, and we have to be patient. We have to be positive with ourselves, and we have to self-love, man. Self-love is
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
Self-love is it's really big, because if you don't love yourself, Snell, how can you love anybody else?
That's true. Yeah, I agree. Well, you need those mentors in your life. You need those people who are going to be difference makers and going to, again, you know, see it all the way through. And obviously, I said, Coach Brown is definitely, epitomized that and demonstrated that. So it's great to see.
Him and my father, man, instrumental, and everything
Hmm.
that my father told me as a sophomore in high school. It was true. It
Yeah.
all been true, So like, and this is to kids. When you hear your parents telling you things, they're telling you things because they love you and they care for you, and they see what can happen potentially, and they're just trying to save you, and they're trying to guide you in the right direction so you could be successful in life, because that's all parents want to see. They want to see their
Yeah.
kids be be successful and do better than them. So,
Yeah.
trust your parents, trust your support system, and and trust in God without a doubt.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, this has just been absolutely just, scintillating. I mean, this has just been, again, I said off the charts it would be, and it would be one for the books, and it definitely has, for you. I don't think an article or, said you know, would fully encapsulate or, do the trick, just to, to hear your own words, what you've been through, your struggle, your journey, all the ups and downs, really the good, I said the good, bad, and ugly, and the fact that, you have, again, persevered. You have just, the grit and determination you have, again, shown, said, for your whole life. So I really wanted to, in closing, give you the floor. I said, I know your family has been, again, instrumental in that, helping you and supporting you here. You're married, you have, three sons. I mean, that's the thing also. And we've talked about that over and over, that we're fathers, and we're husbands as well, sons. So really wanted to give you that opportunity.
As a father, as a leader, as an older brother, as a son, as a man of God, I just want everybody to understand that none of us are perfect, and we all go through things, but it's the positive mindset that will get you through it. Being patient with yourself, loving yourself, reaching out to help for help. You know,
Mhm.
that's the biggest thing. Reach out for help if you need help. Don't stay enclosed. Don't just stay to yourself. Speak to people. You know, talk about your situations. Get it
Mhm.
off your chest, because what happens is, if you don't get it off your chest, it weighs and it weighs and it weighs.
Mhm.
Stress and it's stress and it's stress, and stress kills. Stress ages. So get your stuff out, man. Get it out. Help others. Your story can help other people. It can definitely help other people.
Mhm.
What you're going through, somebody else could be going through. And don't worry about what other people think about you, what other people are going to say about you, because when you worry about what people are going to say about you, or what people think about you, you become a prisoner to their thoughts. And you don't want to be a prisoner.
Yeah.
You shouldn't care what anyone thinks or says about you, as long as you know who you are as a person, and you know that you trust and believe in God. That's all that matters,
Yeah.
and just pay it forward. And we're all here to help one another. We're all human beings from the Almighty God, the Creator, and there's only one race. It's the human race. There's not multiple races. We're all one, so just everybody understand that, we're all one, and live with love, man, and live in harmony, and help other people. And always remember that proper preparation prevents poor performance. So be properly prepared in anything that you do in life, and live with love, and be a kind person, and want to help people. And yeah, that's it. And I hope my story and what I've been through in my life inspires people, motivates people, and gets a kind of idea of who I am as a person, and what I've been through in my life. Because some people, they don't know. They don't know why I was suspended from Bayonne. Some people don't. They're like, well, how did Pat end up at NJCU? So
Yeah.
want to give people that outlook, and have them see, who I am as a person. Because some people, they think the worst of me, and sorry for them that they think that, you should get to know who I am as a person. But
Yeah.
yeah, and I appreciate you, Sunil, because there were people that wanted to do this, and I don't believe they had the right intentions, and I know what they said about me. So I'm happy that you got this, and it's a pleasure and an honor to always get to speak to you. You're one of the best at what you do. You're a great person. You're a great human being, inside and out. You care about people. You want to see people move up. So that's why I'm always going to be in your corner. I'm always going to have your back. Anything you ever need from me, I'm here. Any kid you ever need to speak to, anything, I'm here for you. And like I said, you're one of the best, and it's a privilege and an honor to be interviewed by you, Sunil. And thank you for this.
Thank you, Coach Devaney, for again the kind words. It is, again, I echo those sentiments. Said in return, it's been again an incredible honor and privilege. Speaking with you, as said, on a consistent basis, but this one was entirely again a different forum. But I'm glad that you gave me the opportunity and trusted me. Said here to interview you, and yes, I think again, so many people I think will take this again as being inspiration, but also providing plenty of motivation to improve on their lives. And wishing you, said, all the best, continued success as the New Jersey City University got that nice women's basketball head coach. And uh again, looking forward to covering you guys next season. But as said, great to see you again on the straightforward path here.
Thanks, Sunil. Thanks, Sunil. And truthfully, I think everything I've been through, it's one of the reasons why NJCU women's basketball program is where it's at now. And it's a big reason why I don't have kids transfer. In the 5 years I've been here, never had one kid leave my school to go to another school to go play basketball. So, I think what I've been through is really helping build this program up to where we could potentially be one of the best in the country.
Yeah, sky's the limit. And I say you come as real as ever and authentic and genuine as said. And I think that's why so many kids gravitate towards you. And as said, the girls remain loyal. So it's just wonderful to see, Coach.
Thanks, Sunil. I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you.